equations of the form x squared equals k. So the way you solve it is, right, you get rid of the square. So you square root both sides, and one of three things to happen. If that's a positive number, you get whatever the plus or minus, whatever that positive, whatever the root of that thing is. If this equals 0, then you just square root of 0 is a 0, so you're going to get one answer. And here's the thing, IB doesn't really deal with imaginary numbers, so if this is a negative, you take the square of a negative, you get imaginary numbers, but in IB we're going to say there's no real solutions. So, I mean, you could still solve it, but it's no real solutions. So let's solve a couple of these. General idea here is if you have one variable, like here, you just want to solve for it, so isolate it. So I want to solve for x squared. We're going to first get rid of this plus 1 here. So we're going to add 1 to both sides. I get 3x squared equals 9. Let's divide by 3. I get x squared equals 3. And then we square root both sides to get rid of the square, and x equals plus and minus rad 3. There's our answer. Do the same thing here real quick. Let's solve this one. I'll subtract 5 from both sides. So again, you want to isolate. This goes last. Negative 2x squared equals 6. Divide by negative 2. X squared equals negative 3. And then if we square root this, normally you would say, oh, it's plus minus I rad 3. But in IB, there's no I, so you just say there's no real solution. Because you can get imaginary numbers there. Okay, cool. More solved. Now you could use kind of the same principle over here, right? So you do have one x, so you want to isolate, you want to solve for it. That's how you solve. Anytime you have one variable, you just want to get it by itself and solve. Now in this case, the first thing we gotta do is get rid of that square. So we square both sides. So I get x plus 3, and over here, the square root of 36 is, since we're solving, it's plus and minus 6. So now we have two problems. We have x plus 3 equals 6, x plus 3 equals negative 6. We solve each one. X equals 3, and x equals negative 9. Right, so probably something I should have said before. Any equation, whatever the power of the variable is, that's how many solutions it should have. So over here, right, x squared should have 2 solutions, x squared should have 2 solutions. Go up to here, right? Here you see 2 solutions. Right here, when it's a 0, you only see 1. That's because it's called a double root. You actually have 2, but they're both the same. And then you would have two unreal solutions. So, right, whatever the power is, that's how many solutions you should have. Okay, the next one here, same idea. We're going to square root both sides. That gets me x minus 4 equals plus and minus rad 7. I just got to leave it like that, plus minus rad 7. Then we're just going to add over the 7. 4. We're going to add over the 4. X equals 4 plus or minus rad 7. And there we go. That's the lesson.